everyone! I'm Maki. It's been a while since the second Hathaway's Flash film was released. Some of you may be eagerly awaiting its release on streaming services. I'm one of you. Let's look at a previous example from Japan. Seed Freedom was released in cinemas at the end of January and became available to stream in early June. Based on that precedent, Hathaway's Flash may also start streaming soon. Today, let's address this question: is there a possibility that Char Aznable will appear in the film? A book called The Official Creative Report was published in Japan. It explains the aspects that the production staff considered important when creating the film. The book contains a hint that may answer the question: will Char appear in the story? Today's program will contain spoilers for the second film. If you want to enjoy the story without knowing anything in advance, you might want to skip today's program. Are you ready? Please consider supporting my channel by subscribing for just 99 cents per month. As a thank you, you'll receive a name badge and comment stamps. Now, let's begin. Mr. Shuko Murase, the director of the film, has shared his thoughts on the character of Hathaway. What exactly is Hathaway Noah struggling with? This was one of the elements that he considered important when creating the story for the second film. The novel was not written as a sequel to the film Char's Counterattack. It is a sequel to Belto Chica's Children. However, the film version of Hathaway's Flash is being created as a sequel to Char's Counterattack. Consequently, Hathaway's past mistakes are clearly different. However, we developed Hathaway's motivations and mindset for acting as Mafti so that they would align with those in the novel. It was important to us that the problem he carries in his heart differs from the one in the novel. In the scene where Amore and Hathaway speak, we portrayed Hathaway as reliving the regret he had locked away inside his heart. Now, let's focus on Hathaway's mistake. For those hearing about this for the first time, I will explain it in detail. There are multiple versions of the story of Char's Counterattack. In addition to the film version, there is also a novel with the subtitle Belto Chica's Children. Both were, of course, written by Mr. Yoshiyuki Tomino. The film and novel depict different events during the climactic battle. Ammo's girlfriend Chinagi kills Quest as Quest was acting as a pilot for the New Zeon Forces Chain, who was a soldier in the Federation Forces, was simply carrying out her duty. However, Hathaway, who had romantic feelings for Quest, lashes out in anger. He then kills Chain. This is Hathaway's mistake in the film. So, what happens in the novel? Hathaway heads to the final battlefield with the goal of rescuing Quest. He wants to save the girl, who was his first love after she has been deceived by Char Aznable and forced to join the Neo Zeon Forces. During the battle, Hathaway fires his beam rifle. This was not intended as a killing shot. It was meant only to stop her, or perhaps to damage the mobile armor and render it unable to fight. However, the attack strikes the cockpit of the mobile armor directly. The result is that he accidentally kills Quest. This is Hathaway's mistake in the novel. In the film version of Char's Counterattack, Hathaway's mistake is treated as an important element. In the novel Hathaway's Flash, a sequel to Belto Chica's Children, Hathaway experiences a different kind of pain to that depicted in the film. He is verbally attacked by Quest in his dreams. The girl, who was his first love, repeatedly tells him, "You killed me." This situation takes its toll on Hathaway, and his impression of unresponse to Gege and Lucia, a girl who resembles Quest, are also influenced by his state of mind. So what is Hathaway's state of mind, like in the film? Let's take a look at Muwase's comments. He has a positive view of Maki's activities, but a negative view of the person known as Hathaway Knower. In the novel, Hathaway struggles with the fact that he killed Quest with his own hands. However, in the film, someone else kills Quest. Although Hathaway feels regret, he does not feel the need to atone for her death. This is why Quest appears in the film as an imaginary friend, staying close to Hathaway and comforting him. This is the director's interpretation. Quest was not killed by Hathaway's attack. Therefore, it was not Hathaway's fault. This is a major difference between the novel and film versions. Let's analyze this element in a little more detail. Hathaway is operating under the name Maki Navuarian. This is an attempt to stop the Earth's Federation government from increasing its power, taking over us and ultimately destroying the planet's environment. Hathaway acts according to the belief that privileges and exceptions must never be permitted. In the film Char's counterattack, Hathaway operates a military mobile suit without orientation. Furthermore, he kills a soldier of the Earth's Federation forces. Although he was in a state of panic, this was an extremely serious crime. However, he escaped punishment because of his privilege. The fact that he is the son of Bright Noor, a heroic military officer, protected him. This weighs heavily on Hathaway's mind. It is only my personal interpretation, but perhaps the fact that he escaped punishment through a privilege has eaten away at Hathaway's heart, leading him to hate privilege. Could that be why he is acting as Maki? At the climax of the film, Hathaway is playing the role of Maki. Even during his conversations with Amo and Quest, he refuses to be addressed as Hathaway. This is especially striking when Hathaway himself shouts, "Do not call me by that man's name." However, viewing the scene in light of Muwase's words reveals another interpretation. The Quest that Hathaway is speaking with is an imaginary friend. This term is actually used in the fields of psychology and psychiatry. Proposed explanations include releasing unacceptable impulses and psychological regression. The important point is that imaginary friends are phenomena created within a person's own mind. This is fundamentally different from communicating with the dead through new type abilities. Muwase has previously said that Hathaway's Flash movies would not actively deal with supernatural phenomena. He also worked on the production of Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. While he was not the director or screenwriter, he did work on elements such as the storyboards. The story of Unicorn actively depicts miracles caused by the cycle frame. However, Muwase has said that Hathaway's Flash will not feature miracle-like events. It was from this approach that the idea of Quest as Hathaway's imaginary friend was born. The Quest who appears in the film is not a spirit manifested through new type abilities, but merely an illusion created in Hathaway's mind. Hathaway cannot forgive himself for his crime. This is why he rejects the concept of privilege so strongly and devotes himself to Maki's ideals. However, Quest remains close to his heart and encourages him. As she is an imaginary friend, this is actually a scene in which Hathaway stays close to himself and encourages himself. If we analyze the scene based on Muras's comments, the same applies to Hathaway, who appears at the climax of the story. Amo is not speaking to Hathaway as a spirit either. He is an illusion created by Hathaway's mind. This is conveyed through the way Amo's voice overlaps with Hathaway's before gradually fading until only Hathaway's remains. Throughout the climactic battle, Hathaway talks to himself and confronts his guilt. Now then, at the beginning of the program today, I told you that we would be discussing whether or not Char Aznable will appear in the third film. However, we haven't mentioned Char at all so far. Some of you may be feeling confused, but think carefully about everything we have discussed and Muras's comments so far. You will probably be able to work out the answer. That's right! Char Aznable will not appear in the third film. Now, let's focus on the scene where Hathaway speaks with Quest. Pay particular attention to what Quest is wearing. Throughout the story of Char's counterattack, Quest wears many different outfits. As well as casual clothes, she wears a Neo Zeon uniform and a pilot suit. However, in Hathaway's Flash, she only wears casual clothes. Do you understand the reason why? She only wears clothes that Hathaway has seen before. As she is an imaginary friend, she cannot wear clothes that he has never seen before. Based on this rule, let's analyze what Char Aznable means to Hathaway. Hathaway has hardly ever met Char. He has only ever watched from afar as Quest went to meet Char. He has never had a proper conversation with him. For Hathaway, his only knowledge of Char is that he has seen him on news programs and in newspapers. This is precisely why Char cannot appear in the third film. Once you understand Hathaway's complicated state of mind, watching the film again will give you a completely different impression. Let's look forward to the start of streaming. Thank you for watching until the end. I'll see you again in the next program.